Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. The stars of the distant system twinkled quietly as the alien patrol ships drifted in formation. Their sensors had detected something unusual at the edge of their territory. A dark object was moving slowly, without any visible propulsion, no heat signature, no communication signals. The aliens stared at their screens in confusion. This object did not match any known ship or natural body. "It is impossible," one of the young commanders whispered. His tentacles shook slightly as he tapped on the holographic display. The council had warned them about unknown travelers, but nothing like this had ever appeared before. The object moved calmly through the void, its surface smooth and reflective, like black glass, but it did not reflect light in any normal way. The patrol ships tried to approach. It was almost as if the object sensed them coming and shifted slightly out of range. "Try to scan it," the commander ordered. The sensors flickered and failed. The object seemed to block every attempt to observe it. Silence fell over the patrol bridge. The aliens were not used to uncertainty. In their experience, any ship this big could be scanned and catalogued, its weaknesses measured. But this was different. The object slowed as it entered the inner system, almost as if it were choosing a path. The patrol captain opened a channel on all frequencies. "Identify yourself," he commanded. There was no reply. The object kept moving, unhindered, graceful, and silent. A chill ran through the alien crew. Outside the viewports, stars glimmered normally, but the object seemed to bend space around it. Observers on the council would later describe the sight as hypnotic. As it reached the inner asteroid belt, it stopped completely. The patrol ships could not move closer. Some engines failed mysteriously. The aliens panicked. The object seemed alive, but it had no weapons, no markings, no engines. "Report." The patrol captain barked. Young officers trembled as their screens went black. Then, without warning, portals opened on the object's surface. Two figures stepped out slowly. They were bipeds, walking upright, with smooth skin and strange uniforms that glowed faintly. The aliens gasped. The patrol captain almost fell from his seat. They had expected monsters, ferocious creatures, or mechanical horrors. They did not expect humans. Humans walked calmly, without fear. The patrol crew did not understand their language, but they felt the presence of authority, confidence, and something far older than their species. The humans did not rush. They paused, looking around, as if examining everything at once. They spoke in a calm voice, translated automatically by some device. "We did not come to fight, unless you force us." The word spread through the patrol communication channels instantly. The aliens froze. Some wanted to fire, others wanted to retreat. The humans raised no weapons, just their hands slightly, showing a gesture of peace. The patrol captain's tentacles twitched nervously. He could feel the tension rising in the ship. The humans moved slowly toward the main console, studying instruments that no alien had ever seen before. They touched nothing but observed everything. Every officer stared at them in disbelief. The humans seemed simple, yet dangerous, like a predator disguised as prey. One young officer whispered, "They are just bipeds. How can they scare me?" Then the humans turned and their eyes locked on the viewport. The crew felt a cold wave of realization. They were being studied, measured, assessed, as if the humans could see every weakness in them without touching a single device. The humans spoke again. "We have come because the stars themselves warned us. Your fleet is in danger." The aliens were confused. "Danger?" one muttered. "From what?" The humans did not answer immediately. They moved back toward their ship, then one turned. "We give you a choice. Stand down, or face consequences beyond your understanding." The patrol captain tried to reply, but the words stuck in his throat. The humans stepped back onto their vessel, then the portals closed behind them. The object slowly lifted off the asteroid belt and disappeared into the void, leaving the patrol ships shaking and silent. The young officers stared at their empty screens, trying to comprehend what had happened. They had encountered a species that did not fit any record. A species that ignored every law of physics they knew. A panic alert reached the council immediately. The council had seen many things, but this report was different. The description of the bipeds, their calm authority, the way the patrol ships failed near the object, all of it seemed impossible. The council convened emergency sessions. The head of the council could not contain his fear. "Are these creatures gods?" he asked. "Or weapons?" His advisors whispered among themselves. They had never catalogued humans before, not once in the thousands of years of interstellar records. They could not explain their technology, appearance, or calm behavior. The humans had left no trace except a warning. The patrol captain submitted his report, writing with trembling appendages. "We have met the bipeds. We do not understand them. They may be the end of us if provoked." The council stared at the report in silence, each member feeling an unease they could not shake. The stars outside seemed colder, suspicious, as if watching the galaxy along with the humans. The first part of the story ended with one thought repeating in every mind: they thought they knew the universe, until the bipeds arrived. The human vessel disappeared into the darkness, but its presence remained in every sensor and every thought. The galaxy had met something it could not measure, nor predict, nor control. And somewhere, quietly, humans smiled, knowing they had already changed the rules of the galaxy forever. The council chamber was vast, its walls lined with glowing panels and hovering lights. The leaders of dozens of star systems had gathered after receiving the urgent report from the patrol ships. They sat in silence, each processing the unbelievable story of the humans. The young commander who had seen them firsthand trembled as he repeated every detail. They walked calmly. They did not fight. They observed everything. "Our weapons could not touch them," he said. The council members whispered among themselves, some shaking their heads, others staring at the report in disbelief. The council elder, an ancient being with translucent skin and thousands of years of memory, rose slowly. "We are not prepared for this," he said. His voice echoed through the chamber. "No record shows the existence of these bipeds. They are not in our archives. They are unknown." One advisor leaned forward, pointing at the screen showing the patrol report. "They hacked our sensors, our communications, even our security codes. Whatever they touched, they saw everything. Whatever we tried, they ignored it. Whatever we expected, they were already beyond it." Another council member hissed, "Are they a weapon? Are they a threat? Or spies?" asked another voice. The council elder shook his head slowly. "No weapon behaves this way, no spy moves without fear or error, no known species possesses such endurance, such calmness, or such presence. They are different." The chamber went quiet again. Outside the council building, the galaxy continued to spin, unaware of the tension inside. Holographic screens flickered as technicians tried to replay the footage of the humans. But every time the cameras zoomed in on their faces, the image glitched, static filling the frames. The council members stared at the blank screens in frustration. "They are protected by some kind of unknown technology." The elder muttered, "Something beyond our understanding." The council debated furiously. Some wanted to send a fleet immediately, others insisted on waiting and observing. The youngest member whispered nervously, "If we act too soon, we provoke them. If we wait, we risk being unprepared." A silence fell over the room as the words sank in. The humans had shown nothing aggressive, just calm observation. But that calm made the council uneasy. Most species would be fearful in a foreign system, especially surrounded by unknown technology. But the humans, they were calm as if they owned the stars themselves. A message arrived suddenly, translated by every communication device in the chamber. It was short, simple, and chilling. "Stop watching us. We know." The council froze. No one could trace the source. The message seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. T was not a threat, but it carried weight, a presence that the council could feel deep in their consciousness. Some members tried to respond, but the devices failed, showing only static. The council realized that the humans had hacked even their most secure channels. A wave of panic spread through the chamber. "They know us," one member said. "They can see every move we make," another whispered. The elder's eyes glowed faintly as he processed the implications. "We are no longer observers," he said. "We are the observed." The debate continued, each member offering strategies that seemed childish compared to the humans' apparent power. Some suggested summoning the galaxy's largest fleets, some wanted to set traps, and some argued for diplomacy. But the elder stopped them all. "We cannot plan using what we know," he said. "We have nothing that matches them. They exist outside our records, outside our understanding. Whatever we try, it may already be too late." The council chamber was tense. The lights flickered as if echoing the fear inside. A junior technician whispered, "Do they have weapons we cannot see?" No one answered. The council knew they could not be sure. The humans had moved silently, observed everything, disappeared without a trace, leaving only a warning. The council elder rose again, his voice steady but heavy with concern. "We must meet them. Not as conquerors, not as spies, but as beings who seek understanding." Some members gasped. They had never suggested meeting an unknown species without overwhelming force. But the humans had changed everything. The patrol reports showed calmness that terrified the Council more than aggression ever could. The Council began to prepare a meeting. The humans had requested it inside the most secure hall in the galaxy, without permission or escort. The Council debated the risk of allowing them entry. The elders finally agreed, deciding that knowledge might be the only chance to survive if the humans were indeed what they appeared to be. Some members suggested using hidden weapons in the chamber, just in case. The elder refused. "We show respect or we provoke them," he said. "We have seen what happens when they are provoked." The Council technicians tried to replay all human footage. They watched humans walk calmly, observe instruments, move through the patrol ships with quiet authority. Every frame of the humans showed patience and intelligence beyond any species in the galaxy. The Council could not stop thinking about the phrase in the human message, "We know." It haunted them, echoing in their minds. The Council spent hours preparing questions, preparing words, preparing strategies. Each plan seemed inadequate. The humans had appeared suddenly, unannounced, then vanished quietly, leaving only fear and curiosity in their wake. The Council elder finally sat down, closing his eyes briefly. "The galaxy is no longer ours to command," he whispered. "It belongs to those who understand what we cannot." The Council chamber emptied slowly, each member lost in thought, trying to imagine a species that moved beyond known laws of the universe. The humans had already won the first battle, not with weapons, not with fleets, but with presence, with calm observation, with knowledge and patience. The Council could not shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Silent question hung in the chamber. If humans had this power, what else did they possess? The chamber lights dimmed slightly as if the building itself shared the unease. The stars outside twinkled as usual, but inside, history had changed. The Council realized that the galaxy would never be the same again. Humans had arrived, and with them, an unknown future. Full of power, full of secrets, and full of things the Council could not imagine. The first human warning had been simple, but its meaning was heavy. "We know," it said, and the Council, for all its wisdom, was forced to understand that humans had already changed the rules of the universe. The Council chamber was silent as the humans arrived without warning. No alarm sounded, no doors opened, yet they stood in the middle of the hall. Guards froze in place, unable to move or speak. The humans were calm, walking slowly with upright posture, eyes scanning the chamber as if it had always belonged to them. The Council members stared, unable to comprehend how they had entered. One elder whispered, voice trembling. How did they get here?" The humans made no sound, but their presence filled the room. They did not carry weapons, do not touch anything, do not speak, yet a strange pressure seemed to settle over everyone present. The Council leader rose cautiously, his appendages quivering slightly. "Identify yourselves," he demanded. The humans turned to him, their faces expressionless but somehow commanding respect. The translator devices in the chamber activated automatically, translating their calm voice into every known language in the galaxy. "We are humans from a hidden system," one said. "We have observed your galaxy for centuries. You are unprepared for what is coming." The Council members exchanged uneasy glances. Some thought they were bluffing, others felt a deep chill down their spines. The human spoke again. "Your fleets will fail. Your weapons will not touch it. It is coming for the stars." The chamber was silent again. The Council had no record of any threat that could surpass their fleets or weapons. The humans moved slowly through the hall, gesturing toward the displays showing recent patrol reports. They did not need to touch them, but the images shifted subtly, as if obeying their gaze. The Council members felt powerless, like children facing something far older and wiser than themselves. The humans paused, turning toward a holographic map of the galaxy. "This path," they said, pointing to a region near the outer rim, "will see the first destruction. Worlds will vanish silently, no alarm, no signal, nothing. Only emptiness." The Council members gasped, whispers spreading like fire. Some wanted to dismiss it as a warning, others feared it might be prophecy. The humans' eyes scanned the room slowly, meeting the eyes of every Council member. One of the humans spoke, "You will not believe until you witness it. We came to warn you. Because if you fail, all will be lost." The Council leader tried to speak, but words stuck in his throat. The human's calm presence made him doubt himself, his power, and the authority he had held for centuries. "What are you?" another member whispered. "They are not gods," the mind insisted. "They are something else." The humans turned toward the exit, then paused. One stepped forward, voice soft yet firm. We have fought this enemy before. IT is not like anything you know. IT does not strike ships or planets. IT strikes stars. IT eats light, life, hope. IT will help you if you accept our guidance. The council members trembled. The humans had offered help, but on terms that made them uncomfortable. They had never met a species that demanded respect through presence alone. A younger council member asked cautiously, "Why help us? Why reveal yourself now?" The human looked directly at him, eyes steady and calm. "Because the universe does not wait for those who sleep. We have stayed hidden for millennia, could have remained unseen. But now, its path crosses yours. Stand ready or perish." The room was quiet again. The humans began to leave, stepping backward slowly, still untouched by any force, still calm, still unerringly confident. The council watched, unable to comprehend what they had just experienced. Every technician tried to replay the images, analyze the humans' movements, but every attempt failed. The humans had no record, their technology did not match any known systems. Even their physiology was beyond expectation. The humans reached the exit and then disappeared, leaving behind only an empty hall and a lingering sense of fear and awe. The council members remained seated, each lost in thought. One elder finally spoke. "They are not like us. They are beyond us. They are what we should become afraid of." The council spent hours discussing what had just happened. Every plan seemed trivial compared to the humans' calm power. Some suggested building fleets immediately, others wanted to evacuate systems near the outer rim. The council leader shook his head. "None of our strategies matter," he said. "We cannot fight what we do not understand." The chamber technicians tried again to replay the human footage, but the images glitched, showing only static. They realized that humans had somehow erased or hidden data, leaving only fragments of what had occurred. The humans had entered the council chamber without permission, without opening doors, without alarms, without warning. Yet they left no trace of damage, conflict, or aggression. They were not violent, but they had shown power enough to terrify the entire council. The council realized that this meeting had changed everything. The humans had forced them to confront their own limitations. The elder whispered again, "The galaxy has changed. The rules have changed. Whatever comes next, it will be guided by them." Outside the chamber, stars continued to shine normally, but within the council, history had shifted. The humans had arrived, spoken once, disappeared, leaving only fear, warning, knowledge, and curiosity. All members felt a heavy weight settle on their shoulders. They understood, without doubt, that humanity was not to be underestimated. They were not just visitors. They were observers, advisors, perhaps even judges of the galaxy's fate. A final thought echoed in every mind as the humans vanished completely. They are calm. They are patient. They are humans, and we are unprepared for what they bring. The chamber remained silent long after, the council unable to shake the feeling that the universe had changed in a single moment. A warning had arrived disguised as a presence, a calm, silent, unyielding presence. That presence had the power to rewrite fear, hope, and the future itself. The humans had spoken once, shown nothing more, yet the council knew one thing clearly: they were no longer in control. The galaxy had a new player, one that observed all, understood all, and waited patiently for what was coming next. The council had barely recovered from the humans' visit when sensors detected something unusual at the edge of the galaxy. Star systems that had been quiet for millennia suddenly pulsed with faint energy signals. An unknown species had traveled this far, at least not visibly. The council scrambled fleets, preparing for what they assumed would be a normal enemy approach. But the humans had warned them, and their warning echoed in every mind. This enemy was not ordinary. The first patrol ships sent toward the signals reported confusion. The sensors failed to detect the ships approaching. The radar picked up only faint distortions, then nothing at all. Fleet commanders panicked. They could see neither shape nor energy. They tried to fire weapons, lasers, missiles, even gravity disruptors, but nothing worked. The council members watched the reports in horror. "They are invisible," one whispered. "No," another said, shaking. "They are something else." The humans had been right. The enemy moved silently, without engines, without heat, without communication. They drifted through the galaxy as if space itself carried them. The council debated endlessly, trying to understand this new threat. "Send scouts," one suggested. "Track them with satellites," another said. "No," an elder interrupted. "Satellites cannot detect what does not reflect light or energy. Our knowledge is useless against them." The humans' words from the previous meeting haunted every mind. "They are coming for the stars." Reports soon arrived that entire star systems had begun to lose energy. Outputs from suns became irregular, then faded completely. Surrounding planets grew cold, life dying slowly. The Council realized the enemy did not target ships or fleets. They did not attack worlds directly. They consumed stars, erasing light and life silently, no alarm signals, no explosions, nothing. The galaxy felt smaller, quieter. As if fear itself was spreading faster than the enemy could move, a message arrived from the human patrol that had followed the first fleet. They are not here for conquest. They are not here for resources. They are here to feed. The Council could not understand fully. The humans had known this would happen. They had predicted it, explained it, prepared for it, while the Council scrambled blindly to comprehend. The first human warning had been simple, calm, precise: stand ready or perish. The Council fleets tried to intercept the enemy, launching waves of missiles and energy pulses, but every attack failed. The enemy passed through shields, through hulls, through defenses as if they were nothing. The Council scientists studied the reports. They had never seen energy behave like this before. The enemy seemed part of space, part of the dark void itself. They did not move in straight lines or predictable patterns. They drifted like shadows through the galaxy, erasing light in their path. The humans had arrived just in time. The Council realized this slowly, terribly. Without human intervention, the galaxy would fall before it even knew it was being attacked. The first fleet returned, scared, demoralized, and damaged by its own confusion. Every captain spoke the same words: "We could not see them, we could not touch them, we could not fight them." The Council elder sat silently, his eyes glowing faintly. He understood what was coming, and he understood why humans had intervened. "We cannot prepare in time," he whispered. "Nothing in our history, our archives, our knowledge can stop them." The humans remained calm. They observed from a distance, analyzing the enemy, tracking movements that no alien could detect. They used devices that bent light and energy, revealing the enemy ships for the first time. The enemy was immense, ship after ship drifting silently, shapes impossible to comprehend for the Council's fleets. They moved in formations that seemed random, then perfectly calculated. The humans explained. "They are not bound by physics as you know it. They exist partially in the void, between dimensions. They consume light and energy, feeding silently. Your fleets cannot stop them." The Council members felt a cold dread. They realized that the humans were not only stronger than any known species, they were smarter, faster, prepared for threats that had never been imagined. The Council debated evacuation, strategies, weapon development, even diplomacy with the enemy, but the humans shook their heads calmly. "You cannot fight this enemy as you fight others," they said. "Your methods are useless. Stand ready or perish." The Council realized they were powerless. The humans had arrived not to fight yet, not to attack, but to observe, plan, prepare. The humans were the only species capable of facing the enemy directly. The enemy reached the first star near the Council's core territory. It pulsed and dimmed, then vanished completely. The planets around it froze and fell silent. The Council watched, shaken and terrified. The humans appeared near the Council fleets, calm, observing, analyzing. "They will continue," one human said. "But we know their path, we will act when necessary." The Council leaders were helpless, only able to follow their advice, trusting a species that had appeared suddenly and changed everything. Humans had arrived quietly, without fanfare, without aggression, but they held the galaxy's only hope. The Council realized that the humans were more than just bipeds. They were strategists, warriors, and guardians in one calm, silent package. The enemy passed slowly, consuming stars, erasing entire systems, leaving darkness in its wake. The Council fleets could do nothing, except watch and report. The humans guided their eyes, revealed the enemy's true presence, and prepared for the first strike. The Council felt awe and fear at the same time. They understood that without the humans, the galaxy would already be lost. But with them, there was a chance, a small, calculated chance, to survive. The Council elder closed his eyes and whispered, "We have met humans. We have seen what we cannot fight. We can only trust them." Outside, stars continued to vanish silently, but humanity remained calm, observing, planning, waiting for the moment to strike. The first real hope for the galaxy now rested in the bipeds that everyone had once ignored. And as the humans monitored the enemy, one truth became clear. This silent enemy would challenge everything the galaxy thought it knew about war, power, and survival. The enemy fleet drifted silently near the outer rim, shadows stretching across the stars, devouring light and life. The Council fleets could do nothing, every weapon useless, every shield ineffective. The humans remained calm, observing from a distance, their eyes calculating, measuring, every movement precise. Then, a subtle pulse appeared in space, almost imperceptible at first, but growing stronger as the Council watched. Holographic screens flickered and a shape began to appear, a ship unlike anything ever recorded in the galaxy. T was massive, smooth, black, reflecting nothing, yet bending light around it seemed to shimmer and disappear at will. The human spoke calmly into the Council comms. "It is ready." The Council fleets trembled, unable to believe their eyes. The human ship hovered silently, its hull seamless, its form almost organic yet perfectly engineered. The enemy ships detected it immediately, but they did not fire. They seemed cautious, as if they understood instinctively that this was not a normal target. The human ship shifted, folding space slightly around it, appearing closer, then farther away, disorienting enemy sensors. The Council members watched in awe. "It is impossible," one muttered. "No engines, no heat, nothing," another whispered. The humans on the smaller patrol vessels moved calmly toward the ship as if it were the center of a calm storm. They boarded it without ceremony, walking with purpose, every gesture measured and confident. The human ship was enormous, larger than any capital ship the Council had ever catalogued, its surface smooth like black glass, but alive with subtle energy ripples. The humans activated devices along the hull, and suddenly the enemy fleet became visible. They had been partially cloaked, existing in the void between dimensions, but the human devices revealed them fully, showing their size, shape, and trajectory. The Council gasped, unable to comprehend the technology. The human ship hovered silently, unarmed by appearance, calm, unmoving, but its presence alone sent a shiver through every observer in the galaxy. It was as if reality itself acknowledged the ship's power. The humans spoke again. "This is only a scout vessel," they said calmly. "Its purpose is observation and coordination. Your fleets will see its full power when necessary." The Council could not believe their ears. Scout vessel larger than the combined fleets of several systems, capable of revealing and targeting an invisible enemy, calmly floating like a silent predator. The enemy sensed the ship's presence. They shifted their paths slightly, almost tentatively, as if aware of the humans' awareness. The Council members trembled as sensors began to show subtle distortions in space near the human vessel. T moved without engines, without exhaust, without signature, yet could appear anywhere, instantly measuring the enemy, assessing threats, and preparing countermeasures. The humans aboard the ship walked calmly through corridors, checking instruments that glowed faintly, analyzing data beyond the Council's understanding. They spoke to one another in low voices, calm, precise, strategic. The Council could only watch, realizing for the first time that humans were not only powerful, but unimaginably intelligent and patient. The human ship pulsed slightly, emitting a faint hum that no sensor could measure, but every mind seemed to feel. It was subtle yet commanding, like a heartbeat in the galaxy itself. The enemy ships reacted cautiously, altering course slightly, but never attacking. They seemed to know instinctively that this ship was something beyond conventional power. The Council fleets tried to approach, unsure of what to do, but the humans waved them back, calm and confident. "Stay out of range," they said. "Observe and prepare." The Council realized that humans had come not only to fight, but to teach strategy and patience. They did not act hastily. They did not panic. They moved deliberately, confident that the enemy would reveal itself in time for the proper response. The human ship remained silent, hovering, observing, calculating. Then, suddenly, it opened parts of its hull, revealing a weapon unlike any the Council had ever imagined. Strange device, black and glowing faintly, folded space subtly, cutting light and energy in ways no one could explain. It was not loud. It did not fire beams of energy. It did not explode. It simply erased, folded, shifted, changing reality itself around it. The Council stared, unable to comprehend even the mechanics of the device. The humans stepped back calmly, observing the enemy, waiting for the perfect moment. The enemy ships shifted nervously, showing that they had finally realized the threat that hovered among them. The Council whispered among themselves, realizing that humanity had arrived not to fight recklessly, but to teach the galaxy how to face threats no one else could handle. The human ship pulsed again, folding space subtly, then disappearing partially from sight, appearing in another location closer to the enemy. The enemy fleets froze in place, as if sensing the calm authority that humans wielded without violence. The human spoke once more. "This is only the beginning. Stand ready." The council fleets trembled but obeyed, realizing that any misstep could provoke the humans or the enemy. The enemy fleet now moved cautiously, the first signs of fear visible in their patterns. The human ship remained calm, patient, observant, like a silent shadow in space, waiting for the perfect moment to act. Subtle thought crossed the minds of every council member. Humanity had arrived, not to fight recklessly, but to command reality itself. They did not shout. They did not demand. They simply existed, and the galaxy obeyed, or at least paid attention. They had arrived silently, revealed themselves calmly, shown their strength without aggression, prepared the galaxy for the coming battles, and taught everyone a lesson. Do not underestimate humans. The enemy may be invisible, it may be deadly, it may consume stars. But the humans had arrived, calm, confident, prepared, and the galaxy now had its first hope. The council realized one thing clearly. No fleet and no weapon and no plan could match the humans' presence. The human ship hovered, silent, alive, ready, watching, waiting. And somewhere, deep in space, light began to bend subtly as the first strike of the humans' true power prepared itself, unseen, unheard, and unstoppable. The enemy fleet drifted closer to the inner systems, silent, unseen, devouring light and energy as they advanced. The council fleets attempted to intercept them, but every weapon fired vanished uselessly into the void. The shields flickered and failed. The fleets trembled, helpless, while the humans observed calmly from a distance. The human ship hovered silently, its black hull bending light around it, folding space subtly, and revealing the true positions of the enemy ships. The council could not believe their eyes. The humans moved with precision, studying every enemy movement, calculating every trajectory, and preparing a strike the galaxy could not yet understand. Then, the first strike began. Slowly at first, a single pulse emanated from the human ship. T was not a beam, not an explosion, nor a flash of light. T was subtle, a ripple through space itself, but the effect was immediate. The nearest enemy ships shuddered, then vanished without a sound, without debris, without warning. The council fleets gasped. What happened? One whispered. The humans remained calm, standing on their decks, observing, waiting, analyzing. Every ship the enemy had sent vanished one by one, not destroyed, but erased, folded out of existence. The council could not understand the technology, no record had ever described anything like it. Every scientist present shook their heads, unable to comprehend the mechanics of the strike. The humans spoke calmly over the comms. This is only the beginning. Stay back. The enemy sensed the danger and hesitated, shifting formation slightly, but it was too late. The pulse struck again, wiping out another section of their fleet. The enemy had underestimated humans, thinking them a minor threat, small and hidden. The humans had been planning, observing, and calculating for centuries. They were calm, confident, and precise. The council watched in awe and fear as the humans demonstrated power beyond imagination, and no sound, no explosion, no debris. Just disappearance. The first strike left silence in its wake, like the void itself was swallowing the enemy. The humans moved through the enemy fleet, folding space subtly, appearing and disappearing unpredictably, erasing ships without haste, without anger, without hesitation. The council realized slowly what was happening. This was not a battle in the usual sense. It was not a fight with weapons or fleets. It was a demonstration of intelligence, strategy, and control over space itself. The enemy tried to respond. They fired weapons, moved. Their ships tried to cluster together for protection, but it was useless. The humans anticipated every move, calculating every possibility, folding reality subtly to erase threats before they could act. The council felt unmixed with terror. The humans were unstoppable, not because of speed or brute force, but because they understood reality, space, and the enemy in ways no other species could. The first strike continued, gradually wiping out more enemy ships, leaving only shadows in the positions where ships had been. The council fleets could do nothing but watch, helpless and amazed. The humans communicated with the council in calm tones. Observe, study, prepare. Your fleets will learn, if you can keep up. The enemy tried to retreat, but the humans anticipated this, folding space to cut off their paths subtly, erasing them before they could escape. The council members realized that humans did not fight recklessly. They did not act with anger or fear. They acted with perfect calculation, patience, precision, and confidence. The humans had arrived not just to protect, but to teach strategy, power, and control. The council could feel the weight of the lesson. The first strike ended as silently as it began. Leaderless, half of the enemy fleet had vanished without warning. The remaining ships drifted, paralyzed, unable to act against the humans' calm authority. The council fleets were shaken, but they learned, observed, prepared to follow the humans' guidance. The humans spoke once more. This is a warning, a demonstration of what we can do, what you cannot, what the enemy cannot comprehend. Stand ready. The true battle is coming. The council understood that humanity had changed everything. They had not attacked in anger. They had not fired weapons in the usual sense. They had erased enemies with calm intelligence, strategy, and technology beyond imagination. The enemy fleet retreated slightly, but the humans followed, observing, calculating, preparing for the next phase. The council members trembled, realizing that their species, technology, records, archives, even fleets, were powerless without understanding humans. The humans had arrived silently, observed calmly, demonstrated their power without aggression, erased threats with precision, teaching the galaxy a lesson in patience, control, and absolute confidence. The first strike had shown more than victory. It had shown that humans were not ordinary. They were beyond fear, beyond prediction, beyond conventional understanding. The enemy fleet would never underestimate them again. The council realized, for the first time in recorded history, that a single human ship could change the outcome of a war faster than any fleet, weapon, or strategy known to the galaxy. The humans had prepared, calculated, acted, and achieved perfection in execution without haste, without anger, without sound, without destruction in the usual sense. Just erasure. Just control. Just calm authority that the galaxy could only watch in awe. The first strike ended, and silence filled the void. The humans hovered calm, patient, ready, observing the enemy, waiting for the next movement. The council understood one undeniable truth. This was only the beginning, and humanity had already proven why the galaxy should never underestimate them again. The galaxy held its breath as the enemy returned. The first strike by the humans had erased much of their fleet, but the survivors regrouped in the outer rim, shadowy and silent, like ghosts waiting to strike again. The council fleets were on high alert, but fear still ran through every officer and leader. The humans observed calmly from a distance, their black ships hovering silently, folding space subtly, and revealing the positions of enemy vessels that no sensor could normally detect. The humans spoke. To the council, they return, stronger. This time they know our presence. The council shuddered. A message came from a forward scout. Enemy ships are approaching faster than predicted. They are reorganizing. They seem angry. The humans remained calm, walking through their ships, checking instruments, analyzing energy patterns, folding space subtly around key positions. The enemy fleet approached, its presence more intense, its shadows stretching across stars. The council trembled as their fleets moved cautiously, unable to confront the enemy directly. The humans observed silently, measuring, calculating every possibility. The enemy spoke for the first time, an unnatural vibration through space-reaching sensors. "You should not have awakened the bipeds," the message said. The council stared, the words translated but terrifying. The humans did not react outwardly, just adjusted positions, folding space slightly to appear in new locations, revealing hidden enemy ships. The council realized the humans had anticipated this return. They had planned for every outcome, calculated every path, prepared every action. The enemy began to cut off star systems slowly, erasing light as they moved. The council fleets tried to intercept, but every attack failed. The humans observed, not hurrying, not panicking, calm as the galaxy itself seemed to bend around them. The council whispered among themselves, realizing slowly that the humans had fought this enemy before. They had hidden, watched, trained, prepared, while the galaxy slept. The humans' calm authority became the anchor for the fleets. They spoke quietly to the council. "Do not act rashly. Stand ready. Observe. Your fleets will learn if you survive." The enemy advanced toward a dying star, the first sign of its destructive path. The humans shifted positions subtly, appearing near key points, revealing invisible enemy vessels and energy lines. The council watched in awe, unable to comprehend the full extent of their abilities. The enemy sensed the humans and hesitated, slightly, for the first time. They moved with caution, aware now that this species was beyond normal power, calculating, strategic, patient. The humans continued their calm observation, preparing for the next strike. They spoke again. "This enemy is not ordinary. It consumes light and life. It destroys stars silently. Your fleets cannot defeat it alone. Only we can face it directly. The council realized the truth, terrifying and awe-inspiring. They could do nothing without the humans. They had underestimated them before, but now they understood. The humans were not just warriors. They were guardians, strategists, and masters of unseen forces. The enemy fleet reached the first outer system near the council's core territory. The stars dimmed, energy vanished, planets froze. The council trembled, helpless. While the humans analyzed, folded space subtly, showed the positions of hidden enemy vessels, preparing for the moment to strike. The council fleets watched and followed, learning silently from the humans' calm authority. The humans spoke softly to the council, "We will engage soon. The enemy will fall, if you trust our timing." The enemy fleet hesitated, aware now that humans were more than bipeds. They were predators, observers, planners, guardians of the galaxy's balance. The humans adjusted their ships, folding space, appearing in multiple locations simultaneously, erasing invisible vessels from the enemy fleet, demonstrating precision and patience. The council realized the humans' true power was not in destruction alone, but in understanding, control, calculation, and perfect timing. The enemy tried to regroup, but the humans anticipated every move, erasing threats subtly, without haste, without panic, without aggression in the usual sense. The council fleets were awed, terrified, grateful, and humbled. They understood slowly that humanity had prepared for centuries. They had observed, calculated, hidden, trained, and now the galaxy saw only a glimpse of their full power. The humans spoke again. The enemy will try to feed on stars. They will underestimate patience. They will falter. Stand ready. Your fleets will learn. The enemy advanced toward the core systems, its shadows growing, its hunger consuming light faster than ever. The humans shifted positions subtly, folding space, appearing in key locations, erasing enemy vessels silently, without warning, without explosion. The council trembled. They realized fully that humans had already changed the rules of the galaxy. No fleet, weapon, or plan could match their presence. The enemy paused, hesitated, realizing that their prey was no ordinary species. The humans observed, calmly, prepared for the decisive strike that would end this return of the enemy once and for all. The council whispered among themselves, realizing slowly, terrifyingly, that the galaxy's hope rested entirely on these calm, patient, strategic bipeds. The humans had arrived centuries ago, hidden and patient. They had waited for the right moment. They had observed the enemy, studied the galaxy, prepared fleets, calculated every move, and now the enemy had returned. But humanity was ready. The enemy fleet had underestimated the bipeds. They had returned, more numerous, more determined, more dangerous, but the humans had already seen this coming. They were calm. They were patient. They were humans. And the galaxy had no choice but to follow them, learn from them, trust them, or perish. The void of space trembled as a massive portal tore open near the outer rim, its edges glowing faintly with unknown energy. The council fleets watched in disbelief, unable to comprehend what they saw. 1,000 ships emerged, each larger and more advanced than anything recorded in the galaxy. The humans had arrived, not a single vessel, not a few patrols, an entire armada, calm, silent, and terrifyingly precise. The enemy fleet sensed it immediately, halting in confusion. They had expected humans to be small, barely noticeable, but this was an entire force capable of challenging them on a scale the galaxy had never seen. The council fleets were overwhelmed, standing in awe, unable to process the sudden appearance of the Earth Armada. The humans moved with calm authority, folding space subtly to position their ships strategically around the enemy fleet. No lasers, no explosions yet. The presence of the Armada alone sent a message of power and control across the void. The council whispered among themselves, realizing slowly that humanity had prepared this moment for centuries. They had hidden, observed, trained, planned, calculated, and now the galaxy witnessed the true scale of human power. The enemy ships shifted nervously, trying to regroup, trying to organize, realizing for the first time that they had misjudged the bipeds completely. The human ships emitted subtle pulses that bent light around them, folded space slightly, and revealed the invisible or cloaked enemy vessels. The council fleets could see, finally, what had been hidden. The humans did not fire immediately. They hovered silently, positioning, observing, waiting for the perfect moment. The enemy felt a pressure, not physical, but mental, a calm authority radiating from the armada that paralyzed even the boldest commanders. The council realized, with awe and fear, that humans were not merely fighters. They were masters of strategy, control, patience, and presence. The human flagship, larger than any other vessel in history, hovered in the center, its hull black and smooth, light bending subtly around it pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat in the void, communicating with every ship in the armada simultaneously. The human spoke once, calmly, through the council channels. "This is the time. Stand ready. Observe. Your fleets will learn." The enemy fleet hesitated. Their movements slowed. They had seen humans before, but never in such numbers, never with such calm confidence. Nerves spread among their crews. The humans folded space subtly, appearing near critical enemy positions, erasing scouting ships without haste, without panic, without visible force. The council fleets realized they could only follow, learning silently, observing how humans controlled reality itself. The enemy tried to regroup, fire weapons, move toward strategic points, but the humans anticipated every action, subtly erasing threats, manipulating space, demonstrating power beyond comprehension. The council whispered among themselves, "They are not ordinary. They are beyond our understanding. They are humans." The Earth Armada did not hurry. The humans had patience, precision, control, planning. They were silent, observant, ready for the decisive moment. The enemy began to panic. The first wave of ships attempted to escape but were subtly blocked by the humans' manipulation of space. They vanished one by one, not destroyed by weapons, but erased from reality subtly, efficiently, without chaos. The council trembled. The humans were teaching strategy, patience, and power through presence alone. The enemy fleet shrank. Under observation, confusion, terror, calm authority. The humans spoke again, "We will not destroy all at once. Your fleets will learn to observe, prepare, calculate, and strike only when necessary." The council realized humanity was beyond mere battle. They taught control, patience, calculation. The enemy sensed it and froze. The armada hovered silently, giant vessels bending space subtly, folding reality around critical positions, erasing threats invisibly, showing every move, every weakness, without haste or anger. The council fleets began to understand the lesson. They followed the humans, learning the art of calm authority and perfect timing. The enemy tried to escape, split into clusters, move unpredictably, hoping to survive, but the humans anticipated each move, positioning the armada flawlessly, erasing threats subtly, efficiently, without haste. The council gasped at the scale. The Earth Armada was beyond imagination, silent, calm, terrifyingly efficient, ready to strike when necessary. The enemy fleet was shrinking, paralyzed, unprepared for the precision and patience of humanity. The humans spoke once more, calmly. "This is your first lesson. Observe, learn, prepare. The true strike comes soon." The council understood fully. Humanity had arrived not just to fight, but to demonstrate mastery over space, control over reality, patience, strategy, and the art of war beyond any known species. The enemy fleet reeled under observation, unable to comprehend, unable to act decisively. The Earth Armada hovered, giant and calm, its ships perfectly positioned, ready, silent, observing. The council whispered among themselves in awe and fear. They realized fully that the humans had changed the galaxy. They had arrived, prepared, patient, strategic, and infinitely more powerful than any record suggested. The stars seemed to bend subtly around the massive armada, the void itself responding to their presence. The enemy realized too late that they had misjudged humans entirely. The humans were not ordinary. They were masters of patience, strategy, control, and absolute authority. The council fleets understood their only role now: observe, learn, and follow. They had witnessed the arrival of a force beyond imagination, an entire armada of humans, calm, silent, precise, terrifyingly patient, ready for the decisive strike that would save the galaxy. The portal closed silently behind them, leaving the armada in position, hovering, folding space subtly, erasing threats invisibly, teaching a lesson the galaxy would never forget. The humans had arrived, and the enemy would never recover from this first sight of Earth's true power. The enemy advanced silently toward the inner systems, its massive shadow stretching across stars, devouring light and life in its path. The council fleets trembled, helpless, as systems near the core flickered and went dark. The humans observed calmly from their massive armada, folding space subtly, revealing enemy positions that no sensor could normally detect. The enemy had returned stronger, more numerous, and hungrier than before. But the humans were ready. Their black ships hovered silently, calm and precise, like predators waiting for the perfect moment. The council watched in awe as the humans positioned their armada strategically around the approaching threat. The enemy fleet hesitated, sensing the humans' presence, but could not attack effectively. The humans spoke calmly over the comms. "Observe. Stand ready. Your fleets will learn." The first wave of enemy vessels approached a critical star system, its light dimming subtly under their influence. Planets nearby grew cold and silent. The council shuddered, fearing the inevitable loss. But the humans remained calm. They did not panic. They did not act hastily. They moved subtly, folding space around key points, revealing the hidden enemy ships, erasing scouts without haste. The enemy sensed danger but could not understand it. The humans observed, analyzing energy flows, star positions, and enemy patterns, preparing the perfect strike. The council fleets could only watch, unable to interfere. The humans spoke again. "This is the Star Eater. It consumes suns, systems, light, and life silently. Your weapons cannot touch it. Only we can confront it directly." The council realized the truth. The humans were not only fighters. They were masters of space, strategy, patience, and reality manipulation. The enemy advanced on a massive star, the first in the inner system, the Star Eater pulsing ominously as it prepared to consume its prey. The humans shifted subtly, appearing near critical points, revealing enemy positions, preparing for the strike. They did not fire immediately. They waited, patient, calculating every trajectory, every path, every possible outcome. The council watched in awe, realizing they were witnessing more than a battle. They were witnessing humans teaching strategy, power, and control. The Star Eater began to feed, sucking light from the star, planets around it growing cold instantly. The council trembled, helpless, the enemy fleet confident that victory was near. But the humans moved subtly, folding space, appearing closer to the Star Eater, revealing its invisible connections, erasing support vessels silently, without explosion, without haste. The humans spoke calmly. "Observe. Do we strike with precision? Stand ready." The first strike hit subtly. A pulse of folded space emanated from the human flagship. The Star Eater shuddered, surprised, as vessels supporting it vanished silently, erased from existence. The council gasped, unable to comprehend the mechanics. The humans had not attacked with weapons. They had attacked with precision, calculation, and control, erasing threats, weakening the enemy without chaos. The Star Eater pulsed again, trying to reorganize, its tendrils of energy reaching for other systems. But the humans anticipated every move, folding space subtly, erasing critical support ships, revealing hidden pathways, manipulating reality to control the battlefield. The council fleets watched, learning silently from humans' calm authority, understanding that raw power alone could not defeat the Star Eater. It required patience, calculation, strategy, control, and presence. The humans remained calm, walking on their ships, checking instruments, faintly glowing devices measuring energy flows beyond comprehension. The Star Eater pulsed furiously, its shadow stretching, trying to consume the nearest star, but the humans anticipated, folding space subtly to block its path, erasing feeding channels, revealing vulnerabilities invisibly. The council realized fully that humans had prepared centuries in advance. They had observed, calculated, trained, hidden, and now executed perfectly. The enemy fleet shrank under observation, its commanders panicking, unable to counter humans' calm, precise strategy. The Star Eater recoiled as the humans subtly manipulated space around it, folding reality slightly to weaken its influence, isolating it from support, preparing the final strike. The council trembled, realizing they had never seen such mastery. The humans spoke calmly once more. "The Star Eater consumes light, life, and fear. It cannot survive precision, patience, and perfect calculation. Stand ready." The enemy tried to regroup, flee, or attack, hoping to survive, hoping to outmaneuver humans. But the humans anticipated each move, folding space, erasing threats silently, efficiently, without haste, without chaos. The council observed, learning strategy, control, patience, from the calm humans. The first full engagement with the Star Eater had begun, not with destruction in the usual sense, but with subtle manipulation, calculation, observation, precision, and patience. The Star Eater pulsed violently, losing support ships, its feeding patterns disrupted, its advance slowed. The humans continued their calm observation, preparing for the decisive strike that would end the Star Eater's path of destruction forever. The Council fleets watched silently, awed, terrified, and inspired. They realized fully that humans were beyond ordinary species. They were masters of patience, calculation, strategy, and control over forces no other species could comprehend. The Star Eater, huge, shadowy, deadly, was now contained, its path disrupted, its fleet weakened, its influence diminished. The humans hovered silently, calm, strategic, precise, patient, ready for the final moment to strike and end the threat completely. The Council understood one undeniable truth. Humanity had arrived not just to fight, but to command, observe, control, and save the galaxy through patience, calculation, and unmatched intelligence. The Star Eater had met its match, and the humans would not fail. The galaxy had never seen anything like it, and no fleet, weapon, or plan could rival humans' calm, precise, strategic presence. The galaxy waited in tense silence as the humans prepared their final strike. The Star Eater had been contained, but not destroyed. The enemy fleet trembled, paralyzed, unable to comprehend the calm authority that hovered over the battlefield. The Earth Armada remained poised, giant black ships folding space subtly, positioned perfectly around the enemy, ready to unleash their ultimate power. The Council fleets observed silently, learning strategy, patience, calculation, and control from the humans. The humans spoke calmly, "Stand ready. Observe. This is the final strike. The galaxy depends on precision, not haste." The enemy shifted nervously, attempting to regroup, attempting to organize, realizing too late that humans had anticipated every move. They tried to attack, fire weapons, escape, hide, but the humans had calculated every possibility, folded space subtly to intercept, erase, or disable every action before it could occur. The Council trembled, helpless but awed. The humans remained calm, walking through their massive ships, checking faintly glowing instruments, analyzing energy flows, enemy positions, star paths, all simultaneously. The Star Eater pulsed violently, reacting to the humans' presence, but its power was diminished subtly, carefully, as the humans erased support vessels invisibly, isolated it, folded space around it, containing its energy and influence. The Council watched, unable to believe the scale of what they witnessed. The humans did not strike with haste, with anger, or with violence in the usual sense. They moved patiently, calculating perfectly, attacking only what was necessary, erasing threats. Subtly, efficiently, without chaos or destruction beyond what was required. The enemy fleet began to panic. They realized fully that they had underestimated humans. They had assumed patience would be weakness. They had assumed calm meant hesitation. But humans were precise, strategic, perfectly patient, and infinitely more powerful than any record suggested. The humans spoke again. "We give the enemy one final chance to retreat. Stand ready. Your fleets will observe, learn, and survive if you follow." The enemy hesitated, then advanced slightly, only to be subtly intercepted by humans folding space, erasing ships silently, blocking escape, manipulating reality to ensure the final strike would succeed perfectly. The Star Eater shuddered, its shadows writhing, its feeding attempts failing, its energy disrupted, its support eliminated. The humans hovered silently, giant black ships blending with the void, folding space subtly, preparing the decisive strike. The Council realized fully that humans did not rely on brute force. They relied on strategy, calculation, control, patience, and intelligence beyond comprehension. The final strike began with a subtle ripple across space, emanating from the human flagship. The T-bent reality, folded space, erased enemy ships, disabled weapons, neutralized energy flows invisibly, efficiently, calmly, without haste, without panic. The Council watched in awe and fear. The enemy fleet disintegrated silently, vanishing from existence, leaving only shadows in the void. The Star Eater, isolated, contained, weakened, could do nothing as the humans folded space subtly around it, erasing its tendrils, neutralizing its energy, disrupting its core. The final pulse struck, not with explosion, but with perfect precision, erasing the Star Eater completely, leaving the star intact but dormant, life preserved, system saved. The Council trembled, unable to comprehend fully the humans' power and calm authority. The Earth Armada hovered silently, giant, precise, strategic, unmoving yet commanding all of space. The humans spoke softly, "The threat is neutralized. The galaxy is safe, for now. Your fleets will remember patience, calculation, control, strategy, obedience, learning. The Council fleets could only observe, grateful, awed, terrified, understanding fully that humanity had changed the galaxy forever, and no species had ever demonstrated such power, control, patience, or strategy. The enemy was gone. The Star Eater destroyed subtly, efficiently, perfectly, without chaos. The Council understood the lesson humans had taught: do not underestimate patience, calculation, control, and presence. Humans had arrived silently, observed calmly, prepared centuries in advance, and executed flawlessly. They had protected the galaxy without rushing, without anger, without unnecessary violence, teaching through presence, precision, calculation, patience, control, strategy, mastery of unseen forces. The Council whispered among themselves, realizing fully that humanity was beyond ordinary. They were guardians, warriors, strategists, masters of space and reality itself. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's wrath, not in anger, not in chaos, but in calm, precise, perfectly calculated action that erased the enemy, neutralized the Star Eater, and demonstrated mastery beyond comprehension. The stars seemed brighter once the Star Eater was gone. Life returned to nearby systems, the Council fleets safe and awed. The humans remained calm, hovering silently, giant black ships folding space subtly, ready for the next unknown threat, patient, precise, strategic, commanding presence alone enough to reshape the galaxy. The Council realized one undeniable truth: humans were not just fighters. They were guardians of the galaxy, masters of strategy, calculation, patience, control, and perfect execution. They had arrived silently, prepared centuries in advance, and executed flawlessly, demonstrating a lesson no species would ever forget. The Star Eater was gone, the enemy fleet erased, systems saved, but the galaxy knew fully that humanity would not be stopped, that their calm, precise, strategic presence had rewritten the rules of power, war, and survival. Humans had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same again.